Welcome. Welcome to CMST ampersand 210. This is Interpersonal Communication. I'm your instructor, Jim Witzke. And you can refer to me as Jim or anything that's respectful. First thing I'm going to say is if you have any issues, questions, or you need some clarification, email me. That's the only way I'm going to know if you have any issues or anything. So I will repeat that over and over through this video. I'm going to try and keep this short, but I have a lot to say for this first time through. Um, First of all, please view the PowerPoint. It will give you some clues on how to be successful in this class. So open up the PowerPoint for this class and view the whole thing. Um, so how to be successful. One of the most important things is organization. Organizing your time and organizing the assignments that are due. And part of that is communication with me if you need some clarification. Again, I'll say it again, email me if you have some issues. Um, I've set the class up so that you can access assignments a few different ways. Um, I'm hoping that you will use the schedule that I put on under the syllabus tab to help you get organized. It has some clues on what's coming up next, when assignments are due, and things like that. The calendar is okay, but the calendar only allows me to put one due date, and sometimes we have multiple due dates for a particular assignment. So the schedule is much more detailed, and it's, I think, a little easier to follow. I've also set the class up into modules. So you can go into modules and it'll tell you everything that is due for each week. So I set it up by the week. You can go into week one and you can see all the stuff that you need to get accomplished in the first week. We have a lot going on in the first week. I will also say that time and scheduling and organizing your time is one of the best tools that you can use for this quarter. The quarter will go really fast, and want to make sure that we don't get behind on assignments. Remember that due dates are when things are due. In this class, almost all assignments can be submitted early. So I would try to work ahead as much as possible, especially if you're planning on taking a vacation. And I know a lot of people are. I'm taking a vacation, but I'll take my work with me and I'll make sure that I stay in contact with you. Time and organizing that time is really important. For this first week, we have a lot of stuff that is due. Make sure that you get the intro activity done so that you know who your classmates are. You're going to be working with them pretty extensively through the quarter. And the second thing with the intro activities, we'll get to know you a little bit better, and we'll know who's in the class and who's participating. Then we have the text activity that will get you familiar with the text. It's pretty simple, but make sure that you go through that and tell me what's interesting to you. There is a text required for this class, and I put in one of the announcements some places where you can get the text. I think you can get it from our bookstore. I wouldn't imagine that they would not have it, but it wasn't listed as an official text for the quarter, and that's my fault for not having submitted that paperwork on time. But there are some alternative places to get it. My suggestion is, considering that this is an online class, you get an e-reader version because it's way cheaper and you can have access to it, and it can make the work go a lot faster. There are a couple of documents that I want to make sure that you take a look at. The first one is called Quiz Requirements, and it gives you just a couple of different examples of how I would like for you to answer quiz questions. And that's important because for Chapter 1, you have a quiz. And I want to make sure that you have a good idea of what I require for those answers. To give you some insight, for each of the chapters, you will have a quiz or what I call an assessment. I'll talk about that in a little bit. For every chapter, some chapters you will have both. But that quiz is really the only way, outside of maybe an activity, that I know that you have learned or know how to, or that you understand the concepts in that chapter. So be extensive on those answers. If you put down just a few sentences, you're not going to get full credit. I can guarantee you. I would rather read more and have a better understanding that you know what you're talking about than to try and guess if you know or not, because I won't give you credit for what I think is a guess. Okay, so Chapter 1, there's a quiz. Chapter 1 is also available to you in an announcement. So there's a PDF um, of pictures of the pages of chapter 1. It's not easy to read, but it's there and it's available for you. And so there's no excuses for not getting that quiz done for chapter 1. There's a second document that's really important, and that is the Guide to Assessment Construction. So some of the chapters you'll be required to do an assessment. An assessment is a pretty simple assignment. I want you to, first of all, look at that page, the Guide to Assessment Construction, because it'll give you a pretty good understanding of what an assessment is. But in a general, what it is, you're taking one section of a chapter and you're finding a video from either a television show or a movie, and you're using a scene from that television show or that movie to illustrate the terms and concepts in one section of the chapter. Again, go through that document, the Guide to Assessment Construction, and please email me if you don't understand, if you need some clarification. You have an assessment that you're going to need to do for chapter 2. And so next week, you'll need to be able to accomplish an assessment. So let's make sure we have a good understanding of what my expectations are. Okay, so there's another thing that's important. You'll see in announcements, um, I'm asking for feedback on partnerships and groups because we'll have some situations where we'll need to work with a partner and some situations where we work with groups. So I need to know, do you want me to pick those groups and those partnerships, or do you want to? This will be an all or nothing. So if I get 11 votes for me picking it and 9 votes for you picking it, then I will pick it. So, but I would like to have some feedback on that so that if you already know that you want to partner up with somebody and that seems to be the consensus in the class, then we'll do it that way. But if not, I'll be choosing the groups and partnerships. I'll put them on there on that announcement for groups and partnerships, and you'll know who your partners are and who your group members are. Okay, the last thing I'm going to say for this first video is that when you submit assignments to me, I need you to use a Microsoft Office product or PDF, okay? I can't open Pages and I can't open some other formats, but Microsoft Office products are free to you through the CBC website. You can get Office 365 for free, and so there's no reason why you can't submit your assignments using an Office product. PDF is fine too. Both of those formats will open on my computer, and it's important that I can open your assignments that you submit so that I can see what you know and give you a grade for that. All right, so I'm going to end this. I'm going to try and make this really short, but I'm going to end this and say I'll be back in contact with you. I don't know if I'll do it before the week is over. You guys have a lot of work to get done, and I want to make sure I'm staying on top of everything that you need to know. But I'll try to, as best I can, get back to you another video if there seems to be an issue with understanding any of the assignments. Go through the assignments, go through the schedule, make sure that you look at the addendum and the syllabus. The addendum is really specific to this class, and it'll give you some really good information about this class in general and this class specifically. So look at all those documents, take a look at the whole site and our whole page here, and make sure you have a good understanding. So I'll end it there and we'll call it good. And I'll say it one more time. If you have situations where you need some clarification, please email me. That's the only way I know, unless you show up at my door, which I don't think you will, but that's the only way I know. So please email, and any email is okay. I really don't mind. That's my job, and I want to make sure that we can sail through this class as easily as possible so that you're learning a whole bunch. All right, good. So I will talk to you soon, I'm sure.